Well, John showed Milt leaving on a jet plane. Milt showed Peter, Paul, and Mary, and Peter, Paul, and Mary showed the world. It was their first #1 hit. This was a very important time for John. In the world around him, he was gaining credibility, and within himself, he was gaining confidence. And this was very timely, because John was about to fall in love at first sight with a young woman named Anne Martell. John and the Mitchell Trio were touring colleges in Minnesota when they happened to stop at the college, and he saw Annie on stage doing a theater production. Well, he was feeling rather bold from his newfound success, and he went up and he asked her out on a date right there. She said no the first time. John, feeling even bolder, asked again. She said yes the second. And many times after that, they courted for a year. And John asked her to marry him. And the first time, in true form, she said no. But the second time, she said yes. And they were married June 9th, 1967. One day, struck breathless by the beauty of a mountainside landscape, John found the right words to honor his new bride. You fell on my senses like a night in the forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You build on my senses. Come near me again. Come let me love you. Let me give my life to you. Let me drown in your laughter. Let me die in your arms. Let me lay down beside you. Let me always be with you. Come, let me love you. Come, love me again. Let me give my life to you. Come, let me love you. Come, love me again. You fill on my senses like a night in the forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You build on my senses. Come near me again. Well, at first, John and Annie's love helped to balance the perils of life on the road. but it wasn't long until things got complicated. John longed for the exposure to reach the audience, to get out and meet people, and Annie really liked the quiet of home life. To make matters worse, the Mitchell trio was suffering waning popularity and deepening debt. John was the only member of the band that decided to stay in the music business after the band called it quits. And because he was going to stay, he took on the entire band's debt. This was very scary for Annie, since John was basically out of a job. John wanted to explain things to his new bride, to explain the rhyme and reason behind his thoughts, but he couldn't find the words. So he decided to take a shower. And while singing in the shower, the words began to flow like water. So you speak to me of sadness and the coming of the winter. The fear that is within you now seems to never end. And the dreams that have escaped you and the home that you've forgotten. You tell me that you need me now. You want to be my friend. And you wonder where we're going. Where's the rhyme? Where's the reason? And that you cannot accept. It is here we must begin to sing the wisdom of the children. And the graceful way of flowers in the wind. For the children and the flowers are my sisters and my brothers. Their laughter and their loneliness will clear a cloudy day, like the music of the mountains and the color of the rainbow. They're a promise of the future and a blessing for today. Though the cities start to crumble and the towers fall around us, the sun is slowly fading and it's colder than the sea. It is written from the desert to the mountains, they shall lead us by the hand and by the heart. They will comfort you and me in their innocence and trusting. They will teach us to be free. For the children and the flowers are my sisters and my brothers. Their laughter and their loneliness will clear a cloudy day. And the song that I am singing is a prayer to non-believers. Come and stand beside us. We can find a better way. Well, Milt was knocked out by Rhymes and Reasons. He saw a maturity in John's writing that he didn't realize was there. So he landed him a recording contract with RCA Records. RCA executives felt like John had similar potential to one of their already established stars in Mr. Elvis Presley. Well, John's debut album, titled Rhymes and Reasons, did well. And suddenly, hard times turned into better times for the Denver family. Now, a lot of times as an artist, it's very easy, or not easy, but it seems inspiration comes when there's suffering. So now John thought to himself, well, things are getting a little better. Don't want to lose my edge. Where will my inspiration come from? Well, of course, he looked to nature. He and Annie, whenever they could, they went to the Rocky Mountains camping and hiking. And it was there that he fell in love with aspen's glow.
See the sunlight through the pines, taste the warmth of winter wines, dream of softly falling snow. Winter's cold, aspen glow as the winter days unfold. Hearts grow warmer with the cold. Peace of mind is all you know. Winter's cold, aspen glow. Aspen is the place to live. See how much there is to give. See how strongly you believe. See how much you may receive. Smiling faces all around. Laughter is the only sound. Memories that can't grow old. Winter's cold, aspen glow. Aspen is a place to live. See how much there is to give. See how strongly you believe. See how much you may receive. See the sunlight through the pines, taste the warmth of winter wines, dream of softly falling snow. Winter's cold, aspen glow. Winter's cold, aspen glow.
Next, John thought, what do I love as much as nature? Well, it was people, of course, especially musical people. So he set out to work with other musicians. And one night, he stayed up really late, working on a song with friends Bill and Taffy Danoff. Now, Bill and Taffy, as a side note, wound up becoming the Starland Vocal Band, which, if anyone knows that song, it was Skyrockets in Flight. That was their fame. I guess, except for helping John write the song Take Me Home, Country Roads, which they decided John should record, and he did, and it became one of his greatest hits.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong, the West Virginia mountain mama. Take me home down country roads. All my memories gather round her. Mine is a lady, stranger to blue water, dark and dusty, blame it on the sky. This taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye. Country roads, take me home